Welcome back to another video. So today we are back to talk more Chainsaw Man. So Chainsaw Man chapter 147 just dropped, and I'm very mixed on this chapter only because we have to wait another 2 weeks, which is I don't think I've seen this in a minute where we got a chapter that will like make me go crazy and then it having a 2-week break. So we already had a 2-week break, and then we got this chapter, and now we're having another 2-week break. But I think that because it's the holidays, I believe Fujimoto's gonna give himself more time to actually like spend time with his family and actually get like to relax. So I think that's probably the why we're going on break so much, and why it's like 2 weeks long. But I think like the chapter's still cool. The chapter's still cool. And there's actually like a lot of information in this chapter that I like and want to talk about. But that's the only disappointing part about it, is that this chapter kind of doesn't have as much information as last chapter did, and we have to wait 2 weeks again. So the chapter starts off with Barem talking to Denji, Fumiko, and Nayata, saying, "Bingo, leave it to the former Makima to figure it out. So you see, Chainsaw Man, we can't afford to have you chicken out. We need you to go wild like you used to." So everything Nayata said last chapter as being factual, that's actually what's happening. That's their plan. And so Barem says, "Chainsaw Man has spoken to me with a revelation. That little girl is a witch. A witch who will one day plunge the world into darkness. Killer." So basically everything that Nayata just said about the Dev Devil, Barem's like flipping it on Nayata, saying that Nayata is gonna be the one to plunge the world into darkness. So I want to know if this is either like Barem just like bullshitting or whatever. That's what it's looking like. But it could also be maybe Fujimoto giving us sort of like a hint that the Dev Devil is actually not the main villain. It's actually going to be Nayata at the end. I would hope that's not true, because I love Nayata and Denji's relationship, but that would be like a crazy plot twist. And after that happens, Barem sends the Chainsaw Men to attack all three of them. And right when that happens, Quan Chi pops up and like cuts all three of the Chainsaw Man's heads with one slash. Like, this chapter really flexes how powerful Quan Chi is. She's definitely probably in the top 5 strongest hybrids. Like, it's her, Denji, probably the Bomb Devil, and maybe Barem. We don't know how strong Barem is yet, but from what he's shown and how he's supposed to be like upper level, he could be one of the strongest ones. But Quan Chi has been cooking the last few chapters, and so she just grabs all three of them. Denji, Nayata, Fumiko, grabs all of them, right? And also, by the way, Fumiko says Quan Chi Senpai. So this means that they definitely have a relationship together. They probably, I don't remember if Fumiko says she works in the same division as Quan Chi or not. But if that's true, they definitely have a relationship. And you know how Quan Chi is with like, she's more, it's funny how both Denji and Quan Chi are more biased towards women in terms of how they treat them. Quan Chi definitely treats women better than men. And I find it funny that Denji also treats women better than men, which is, that's pretty funny that the hybrids have that in common. And so Quan Chi like jumps off the building, gets like speeding past. And so Quan Chi drops off a building, right, with all three of them. And when she does that, she ends up actually breaking her leg. You can actually say like it's actually ripped apart. And right when that happens, Quan Chi instantly heals her leg, and the Chainsaw Man come to attack her. And she puts the three of them down and literally just slices through all of the Chainsaw Man once again in one hit, bro. And then Quan Chi looks back at Barem, and Barem's like, she's like a manga character come to life. It's like some fourth wall breaking shit. And when that happens, there's one thing I'm gonna talk about at the end of the chapter, but Denji says, "What the hell?" I'm gonna talk about it more at the end of the chapter, my problems so far with the last few chapters, but that, notice that for later, right? So later on, we actually see more people fighting Chainsaw Man, and I think it's public safety people, and we see like this like bug thing on the floor. That may be just a random devil that's also like trying to get into the fold that's happening right now. It kind of looks like a, I don't know if it's a praying mantis. It definitely looks like a bug devil, but I don't know if it's specifically the praying mantis devil, because I feel like we already have that. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to probably research, because I like knowing all the devils, but it definitely looks like there's just a random devil there trying to like involve himself in the situation, just a random person. And so there's a fire, and I believe like it's actually starting to become nighttime now, so it's been like throughout the day, and we see a bunch of mutilated bodies like on the floor. And then there's a police car that says, "This is a mass devil outbreak. Those who have taken the devil extermination exam, please assist with the suppression efforts." They're literally asking anybody, like, if you just passed your test, you need to come and head to this like outbreak right now. Everyone is looking at the fire. This one bald dude is like, is burning the bodies really necessary? And then this guy says, as long as they have blood, the pseudo chainsaw man can revive with one pull of the starter on their chest. This is the simplest way to get rid of them. So I was talking about that, I believe, last chapter, where I said, I wonder how these guys come back. Do they come back like the dolls? Or do they come back like Chainsaw Man? And it's confirmed that like they kind of come back like Chainsaw Man. They're not as durable or as strong as Chainsaw Man, not even close. But they still have somewhat the regeneration that Chainsaw Man has, where if they have blood, they can revive with the starter on their chest. And so burning them completely like gets rid of them. And I think that's a very interesting thing, that they got their power through the fire devil, but then are also beaten by fire. I think that's actually hilarious. And we see Denji and everybody else looking at the bodies being burned. And then at the end of the chapter, this random ass old man that starts pointing at Denji and says, I know him. He's a Chainsaw Man wannabe too, like accusing him of being Chainsaw Man. And it's funny because he actually is. And then Denji says, excuse me, and that's the end of the chapter. The chapter's cool. We get to see Quan Chi do more stuff. So I did like seeing that. But my problem is that right now, I feel like the dialogue, I always congratulate Chainsaw Man's dialogue. I love his dialogue, and I think everyone else's dialogue has been great, or the lack of dialogue. For example, with Quan Chi, I just like that Quan Chi doesn't really say anything and is just like steadfast, like she's just about her work. She doesn't really talk like that. But my problem with the last two chapters is that it feels like Denji has been saying the same like 5 things, especially the Barem. I know Denji doesn't like say a lot of crazy stuff all the time or speaks a lot, but I'm noticing it more lately because he's saying it to the same person multiple times. And I feel like Denji has such good chemistry with other characters like Asa and Nayata and even Fumiko that we actually get to see him talk. And for the last few chapters with Barem and Sugo, it's like he's barely even saying anything. Like the last funny thing we saw, or just thing we saw Denji say, I believe, was when Sugo was trying to tell him like, yo, and there's gonna be like bitches at the church. And then Denji was like, I took what you said and I gave it some thought, type of stuff. I haven't really remembered him saying anything. A lot of the things he's been saying have just been very reactionary. Like, what? What the hell? That's crazy. Like, that seems like all he's just saying the last few chapters. Like, I'm telling you, if you read this chapter, the only thing he says is, excuse me, what the hell, and what? Like, that's literally all he says. And even Nayata says, like, say what? Like, at the same time when Barem is like, yo, we gotta kill Nayata to accomplish our goal. So I'm just like, dang. I just wish Denji had a little bit more interesting dialogue, saying a little bit more than what he's saying now. But then again, him and Barem don't have really that much of a relationship or interactions at all, so it makes sense that he wouldn't really want to talk to him or know him like that. But I just wish there was a little bit more dialogue. But sadly, like I said at the beginning of the video, there's not gonna be another chapter for another 14 days, which is like, oh my god. But I understand that Fujimoto's trying to take a break, and I'm hoping next chapter is crazy. But it seems like we're definitely going to be moving away from the whole Barem situation, because they got away from Barem. Barem is saying like, dang, that's crazy that the manga character, but they don't do anything else. And it looks like it's like nighttime at the end of the chapter, I believe, by the darker tones in the background. So if that's the case, I think after the chapter, we're probably going to go back to Asa and see if she survived fighting Hirofumi or not. I would not be surprised if one of them, most likely not Asa, ends up getting like really hurt or dying, or we see something crazy, like we actually get to see that the real fight that we were excited for, Barem versus Denji, is not actually going to happen, but it's going to be Feimine versus Hirofumi or something like that. Because remember, Feimine really needs Asa for her plan, so she's not going to let Hirofumi just kill Asa. So that's my idea right now. That's the whole chapter. Thank you guys for watching the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and contact us, and hit that bell to post consistently. And let me know down below what you guys think of the chapter. What are you excited about? What do you think is going to happen next chapter? And I'm going to see you guys next time. Peace.